Hi guys, we are closing in on our last week and a half of virtual learning. We're almost done. You guys are doing so awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and read our 2 chapters today. Okay, this one is called, it's chapter 35, A Picture is Worth a Gazillion Words. We have a sub. This is bad news. Then it gets even worse. We begin with an assignment to write about a person that we know who is brave. I start to come up with reasons to get out of the assignment. Go to the nurse. I haven't met a sub who says no to a trip to the nurse when you tell them you're going to throw up on their shoes. I put on my sick look, and just as I was about to raise my hand, the sub turns to the class. Where is Allie Nickerson? Huh? Freaky. I raise my hand. Oh, I have a note here that says you don't have to write. You can just draw a picture of your person. My face gets hot. Well, that figures, Shay says. She can practice her coloring. And then, will there be Play-Doh and nap time? My toes curl in my sneakers and I slide down into my chair. The sub looks at Shay and shakes her head, but kids are already laughing, so what's the difference? The sub gives everyone else a piece of lined paper and she gives me a plain one. I sit, stunned, wondering why Mr. Daniels would do this, betray me. Now I feel like I'm really gonna throw up. I stand up and have to concentrate on walking to move to the door. Where are you going? The sub asks. Out. You come back here and do your picture. Now. I mean it. I'm finished. What are you talking about? It's blank. No, it's not blank. I drew a ghost in a blizzard. As the door slams behind me, I hear kids laughing at my answer. Soon, I am keeping Mrs. Silver's chair warm. So, Miss Nickerson, I must admit that I have enjoyed not seeing you lately. Things seem to be better with Mr. Daniels. He's keeping you in line. Yeah, he's a peach, I say with cut in my voice. Are you going to call my mom? No, I don't think so. I want you to call her. Please call her. Why? Please? I ask. I don't even know why I'm asking exactly. She looks surprised but is silent. She dials the phone and talks for a bit, tells her that I've had a tough day, and then she hands the phone to me. She would like to speak with you. I take the phone from her. Allie, what in the world is going on? I try not to cry, I really do, but the tears leak from my eyes. Everything is so tight inside, and I'm tired of being this way. It's not like I wake up every day planning to be a failure, and I thought I finally found someone to help me, and then Mr. Daniels pulls this. Allie, do you hear me? Mom, is all I can get out, but it's squeaky and filled with longing to pull her through the phone wires to sit with me. I hear it in her voice. She feels just as upset as I do. Put Mrs. Silver back on the phone. Mrs. Silver listens for a bit and finally says, Oh, okay. Mrs. Nickerson will be in touch then. I head to the bathroom and sit in the stall long enough for the evidence of crying to go away. When I get back to class, I ask Keisha to help me write a note so I'm sure it's all correct, and I leave it on Mr. Daniels' desk. I'm never reading after school or playing chess with you ever again, not ever. That afternoon, I drop onto my usual spot at Peterson's, and I wonder what my mom will say about this call from school. When she comes over, she kisses the top of my head, which says it all. So, a ghost in a blizzard, huh? She smiles at me. I half smile. Yeah. Pretty funny, I think. She leans over and puts her hand on my cheek, and it takes everything I can do not to cry right there in front of her. I trusted him, I tell her. He was the first teacher who... And I stop because I can't say the words. You know, honey, I bet there's an explanation for this. I bet Mr. Daniels didn't mean for this to happen. Give him a chance, okay? I nod. I hope she's right because I want to think that Mr. Daniels doing something mean to anything would be like a fish swimming upside down and backwards. Chapter 36, The Game of Life. First thing, Mr. Daniels calls me into the hallway, so I heard there was a bit of trouble yesterday, he says. I fold my arms. Teachers often leave special instructions for a sub, but she was not supposed to share those notes with anyone in the class. I figured I'd write her a note telling her that you could do a picture so she wouldn't pressure you to write. I know that you struggle and I thought I was helping you, but I see I shouldn't have handled it by singling you out that way. Allie, I think you should know that I would never hurt you on purpose. I do know that, and I'm so relieved to hear him say it. So I'm sorry, Allie, I really am. I hope you can forgive me. He holds out his hand for a shake, and I shake back. That afternoon, Mr. Daniels moves his king, placing it on a black square between his own bishop and my knight. And I see the three of us, Albert, Keisha, and me, with Keisha as a bishop, tall and powerful and able to move across the entire board, and Albert being the king, the piece with a ton of value, but only unable to move more than one space at a time, always taking tiny steps, always running and hiding behind the others. And then there's a knight, the piece that Mr. Daniels says is the clever one, the best piece for catching open opponents with a fork. A piece that moves only in an L. I feel like I am the knight, as I spend most of my life jumping over things. Shay is the queen, the piece with the most power to move and frighten, the piece most protected and sacrificed for. I realized that dealing with Shay every day is like playing chess. She's always looking for your weaknesses, always trying to get you flustered and force you into a mistake. Against her, you have to remember that the board is always changing and moving. Keep your eyes open. Be careful, have a plan, realize that you can only stay in defense for so long. Eventually, you have to take a stand, but no matter what, don't give up, because every once in a while, a pawn becomes a queen. Well, Mr. Daniels asked, pulling me in front of my mind movie. You've been thinking a long time over there, thinking about your move? I look back down. I search. I haven't beaten him lately, and I want to, and then I see it. It's the king. The answer is in the king. I pick it up, move it, and hold my finger on the top to be sure I haven't made a mistake. Yep, I put the king in check and given him nowhere else to move. Checkmate. He throws his hands up but seems happy. You didn't let me win, right? Allie, I have 3 brothers and I am not capable of letting someone win. He laughs a little. I think you're just invincible. And then he winks and begins taking the pieces off the board and putting them in a box. I am sad the game is over and I'm relieved that I trust him again. And isn't it funny? I've gone from invisible to invincible. All right, that's the end of chapter 36. I'll see you tomorrow.